And Nasty. Host Randy Chevrier and Sheldon Napastia guide you through great stories that spark great conversations. Two really big guys talking a big game. The boys are locked in and ready to go. Welcome to the ride.
And welcome back to the ride, everyone, to our special episode this week. Not only is it episode number 86 that we've had the show on the air, on keeping it on the rails, but it's Chev, it's my birthday today.
Happy birthday, buddy. How old are you today?
I'm not saying episode 86 that it's my 86th birthday, but
look at that guy.
Yeah.
Look at that guy.
Yeah, and you know how I love to cook and everything like that. So in homage to my 51st birthday and in homage to your Italian heritage, which I've had your lasagna and your I'm sure like decades old recipe for tomato sauce, I made myself a giant meatball for the family today. I don't know if you guys can see this.
Yeah, lift it up.
A giant meatball.
That's awesome. I love that.
It's the size of a kind of a baseball size, maybe a little bit bigger, with homemade tomato sauce, canned tomatoes. Little Parmigiano ricotta cheese and some Parmesan on there. But that was my homage to you this week. And doing myself a little gift, I was paying homage to your heritage.
But you know, if you wanted to pay homage to both our heritages, you could have done like a meatball pierogi. Like, does that even exist? Is that a thing?
You know, I don't think it. You can put meat in a pierogi, but I don't think there's been a meatball pierogi. But I'll tell you the other thing you could do. You could take kubasal, like Ukrainian sausage, and mix that in instead of the ground pork with the beef, and that would be awesome too. But
okay. So you turned 51, right? Last year was 50. When last year came by, did you? And you got a lot of birthday wishes here, by the way. I just want you to know, like Kurt Panio chimed in, happy birthday. Chad Smith, Diane Dash Dad. We got a lot of people wishing you a happy birthday, and some people tuning in. So maybe once in a while, Trey can put up that graphic again. But you're 51. You got a bucket list, first of all.
Yep.
So what's on Nasty? Look at that picture. Look at that smile. What's on Nasty's birthday bucket list?
Well, last year my bucket list was to start stepping out of the business a little bit more and start hiring people and start building more of a company and less of like a trade. And I was successful in that. And then for this one, it's actually like so. Yeah, I hate to be all about business, but that's kind of what it is at this point.
Yeah. Well, you work hard.
I've got a coaching call with this awesome real estate photography group out of the States tomorrow, and I'm looking to take We Drone Real Estate Media to the next level this year.
Nice.
So that next year, that I'm going to be completely off the cameras. I'm going to have an amazing team of photographers, editors, videographers, and I'm just going to be building the business and empowering the guys that are working for me. And that's my big goal.
And more time for the ride.
That's the more time for the ride and more time for the family and the kids and vacations. When you're running the whole company yourself, there's not a whole lot of downtime.
No, there's not a lot of downtime. So you make your bucket list, you make your meatball in honor of me. I don't know why you chose to honor me, but
thought about you.
You got a birthday cake. What would be your favorite flavor of birthday cake? Like if you had one to choose, what would you choose?
Well, I got two, and I think I haven't seen what my wife came home with yet. We're saving our cake for after the show. I'm just having dinner right now.
Yeah.
I like the red velvet.
Yeah. Okay. So I'm going to ask you this. You know what? I like red velvet, but it kind of just tastes like cake. But I want you to check your phone. Just check your phone right now. Your text from Chevy. Just check your phone right now.
I saw that. I thought I was
spam
because it came from a 641.
Yeah,
from Randy. I sent you a gift from D Spot Desserts, Calgary Sage Hill with Uber Eats. That was you.
Yeah. So check your. I think you got to open your surprise. Is there like a surprise that you click? Yeah. So let's see what it says.
Dude, this is amazing.
So what does it say?
It's opening like a present, just so you guys can see. This is really cool.
Okay, so I think you got to turn and click something. Okay,
I got to unwrap, so I'm going to tap to unwrap.
Yeah, what does it say?
A red velvet cheesecake slice.
What the heck? And it clicked. Oh my! What the heck? So Everybody join in at home. If you're watching live, we can't hear you, but we're going to sing happy birthday to you and click on it because I think there's a poem there for you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear Nasty. I'm having fun doing the show with you.
Oh my God. Thanks, guys. And here we go on camera.
Make your wish.
I made a wish.
Happy birthday.
Wow, thanks, baby.
There you go. Look, even got the delivery from the sexy mama. There you go. Look at that,
dude. Chevy, you always surprise me, man. That was a real.
You got to take a bite on the air. I know you're having supper, but take a bite on the air.
I'm gonna eat it in front of the trainer.
Okay, yeah, that's exactly what you should do. But there was a poem there. Were you able to click on the gift?
Hold on. Let me see.
There's a poem.
Okay. Enjoy your gift.
Yeah, it should be like a card.
Hold on. Close.
It says there's a card. I don't know. This is live radio here.
Yeah. Well, this is worth taking a second for. I didn't know this was a thing. I didn't know you could do it.
Yeah.
I'm looking at the delivery tracking. I got to get out of that. So back to Safari.
Let's see. If not, I'll see if I have it.
Oh no, I can't find it.
Let's see. I wrote you a little poem. Let's see if I find it. I might not be able to find it. I don't know if I can find the poem.
Right here. Randy got you a gift, and here's what it says. One bite closer to a 300-pound poet. A slice of cake for a special poet. Have a slice, the belly won't show it. Happy birthday, you nasty dude. We show love by giving food. Dude,
there you go.
And I did think about you when I was doing the Italian recipe. I did think about you. So thanks, man.
Cheers to you, my friend. I know you work hard. I know you like you said, you don't get much downtime. I know if it was up to you, you'd probably be out camping lots. But instead you have to do your thing, and you might have to raise. Oh, look at that. He's gonna take a bite. Look at that. That's a big. Can you handle a big slice of cake?
Honestly, dude, my wife was just asking me which cake I wanted.
Yeah.
And
look at that red velvet. That looks.
You're in on it, but.
Yeah.
Dude, Chevy, you're an amazing guy. Thank you.
Yeah, well, happy birthday, my friend. I love doing the show. Like I said, it's a great time, and it should be a fun time. It should be joy, right? But for Sheldon's 51st birthday, it's our 86th episode. We're brought to you by Performance Freight Management, We Drone Real Estate Media, and YYC Business. So happy that we got 86 live episodes, almost consecutive. We had some breaks. I took off a few times. We got lost. Was in the car once. But yeah, great to do the show. Our 86th episode. Does Trey have anything for us for 86? I looked it up. Well, there you go. You got Heinz Ward. Who's that other 86 there? I don't know who the guy in the Ohio State uniform is. I don't know who that is. Maybe Trey can tell.
I think that's Arizona Cardinals.
Trey, who are the other two guys you got? So Nikita Kucherov and Zach Ertz. Oh, Zach Ertz. Yeah, he's great. Former Philadelphia Eagle. I believe he's with the Washington Commanders. But yeah, I would say Heinz Ward. Is he the one that made that big catch in the Super Bowl versus the Cardinals in the corner at the end of the game where I think it was right after. Yeah, he made the big catch in the Super Bowl versus the Cardinals. The one that I hope was
he at Colorado Buffalo as well? I think I used to play against him in college. Wasn't it Heinz Ward at Colorado Buffalo?
Oh, Trey,
that really check your knowledge here.
But I do know he broke my heart because I love Kurt Warner and I love Larry Fitzgerald, two of the most classy guys in the NFL. And I believe that was also the game that James Harrison took back a 99-yard fumble. He was a Georgia Bulldog. So Heinz Ward. So I'm glad you enjoyed your cake, Sheldon. And we already did one poem, but a treat for our fans is tonight we have two poems. We have our actual 300-pound poetry. So we should hit that because we got a lot to cover tonight. Like we said, I don't know if we said it yet, but I guess we're going to have a special guest in the second segment while Sheldon crushes cake. Yeah, you did mention we have a special guest. So let's hit the poem and let's get the show on the road.
And now, 300-pound poetry with Chevy and Nasty.
It's another Tuesday night, and it's another ride, episode 86. Oh, and I read that wrong, where so many topics seem to collide.
You're allowed. It's your birthday. We are celebrating a birthday Older men are all the rage. Nasty turns 51. He's beautiful and getting finer with age.
Doesn't make me old. Speaking of age, is Liam Neeson a stud for being romantically linked to Pam? The Canadian playmate Anderson was always hotter than a Baywatch tan.
Sure was. Tonight we also welcome Kevin Smith. His Train the Trainer gets a special mention. It's a really great event to raise awareness for mental health and suicide prevention.
Now, the Chevys went on a camping trip, and he's got a story that's cause for concern. We also hit the slump, Brock Lesnar's WWE return.
It's time to turn up the volume while we bring the heat, whether you're listening from home or enjoying the ride on the street. There you go. Special birthday message also from Ernie Regis comes in. Who did we diss? We dissed Pee-wee. Yeah, lots going on. Sheldon, again, we're probably going to keep the birthday wishes going, as every time you take a bite of cake on the air, we'll just say happy birthday. But welcome.
One last thing.
Yeah, go ahead.
That I do want to respond to. Ernie and Diane Regis, thank you for the special birthday wishes. I got a chance to go back to Regina last weekend for a family reunion, and I saw them along with Kurt Panyo.
Yes.
And Kurt Panyo introduced us to a brand new tradition that I wish I could find a way to bring onto the show tonight. At the end of the night, all the guys got together in a big semicircle, linking arms, and we sung Elvis tunes to the ladies, the special ladies that we all brought to the reunion as well. I think the favorite of the night was You Were Always on My Mind.
Well, that's a good one.
No. That was we.
What about Love?
It was Willie Nelson or Elvis, but we gave a lot of Elvis.
Love Me Tender. Love Me Tender is a good Elvis tune. Well, while you were in back home in Regina, or it was Regina or Saskatoon?
Regina.
Yeah, in Regina. I went. I go camping often with my boys, or I have been in the past. I haven't been recently, but I went on a little family camping trip with Brittany and her family, her brother, sister-in-law, parents were there. And my buddy lent me his RV. He's got a 1986 RV, so over 20 years old.
Like a fifth wheel or like
an actual motorhome.
Motorhome.
Oh, yeah.
Like a fire truck. Kind of
like it's a Class C, so it's got the camper back and the van front. And there we are. We went camping, and we I think it's called the Travel Air. I'm not too sure, but yeah, there we are. There's some of the boys and some of Brittany's family, me and Brittany, and we had a nice time. We went up to a great spot. It was 3 hours from Calgary, or just about 3 hours. It was by Crimson Lake. It was called Rustic River Resort. Now, the reason I bring up the story is, first of all, I loved driving the motorhome. It makes me want to get a motorhome. I love the idea of just driving, stopping, staying a night, keep going. I'm a road trip guy. We're the ride. I could see us doing our show from different cities, just driving an RV. And we've talked about this in the past. But anyways, I'm sold. Even though at first I was a little tentative, because it's a different experience driving an RV where your kids are just kind of laying about. You're not, again, they're laying about. They're doing their thing. They're having fun. I'm driving this old RV that's not mine. Not too sure, but it was fun. The story that I want to tell you that caused me concern. So we're having a nice fire on a Saturday night. I want to know if this is something common. I've never been to a resort type camping. Most of my camping I've ever been has been to, like a provincial campground or a national park or a private RV park that doesn't have all the bells and whistles. Like this place had a pool, water slides, it had bathrooms. It was like there was like campers and sites that had like buildings built over their RVs and hot tubs. Like this place was legit. I've never been to a place like this. So there have been people that obviously have the land there year after year after year. So really cool experience. But Saturday night around 11:30, we were having our fire, just kind of chatting. It had rained a bit, so the wind was rustling and we had some music on, but we could hear, there's a lot of kids at this resort. We could hear kids screaming and yelling. And at first I thought, it's just a lot of kids just playing late at night. Sometimes kids do that. But then it got a little bit more intense. And then we heard a lot of swearing. And we turned down the music and there was something serious going on. Anyways, to make that part of the story short, it turns out there was a big fight between two families. Started with a couple of the wives, One lady insults another lady, different families, different campgrounds. Like, and I guess some dude must, like, I think one of my sons kind of saw it because he was not at the fire with us. He was kind of turned it in early for the night, but then he heard the ruckus and got up out of the camper. He saw a dude drop kick a lady. So roundhouse kicked her, dropped her. And that's what caused all the kids to scream. So the lady's husband got up, and it was a big fight and a big. Anyways, long story. Next day, we find out, like, this campground. First of all, they don't take any crap. Like, found out immediately that eviction notices were going out for those families, and it didn't matter what they built on the site. Like, they could have spent hundreds of thousands of dollars. They were gone. But I was walking back to our site mid-afternoon, and I see the RCMP cruisers there, interviewing the people. Apparently, kids got taken away. So the kids got taken away by social services until they sorted this thing out.
Wow. Yeah.
He got arrested. Ambulance. So my question, like, I had a great camping experience, but have you ever seen anything like this?
No. There's
You're a camper.
The domestics happen.
Explain.
Anytime you take a long weekend, and that's why a lot of times, even now when we camp, we go middle of the week when we can. It's quieter, it's tamer, but we're at a real nice place too, right? It's all everybody. The only people that are there are people that know each other, and so you get less of the domestics. But anytime you take a long weekend with like pent up stress, you're packing up a trailer, driving it for the first time. And have you ever seen that T-shirt that says, I'm sorry, honey, for what I said to you when we were parking the trailer"? Because backing up a trailer is you start off the trip with a lot of stress.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
So what do you do to alleviate the stress?
You drink.
Weekenders drink.
Yeah.
And there's a lot of alcohol that goes on at these sites. So I'll tell you what, I camped with a good buddy of mine that this weekend was his birthday too. I think he was either the 2nd or the 6th. Dan Fanot. And his saying is, nothing good ever happens after 11 p.m. when you're camping.
Probably not. Yeah, because it was after 11 p.m.
sometimes, but it's this stuff that you see after 11 p.m. once the booze kicks in, dude, you never know what you're going to find.
Well, I told you, this was a really nice resort. The family that owns it is a Brazilian family. I got chatting with them. Super nice, very strict, gated. A lot of amenities, like they had paintball for the kids. Super nice. Like, this resort is like, if I had a fifth wheel or trailer, I'm looking to get there. And in fact, my girlfriend's brother and her family is looking to go there, but there's no spots available. And I guess after this week, there may be some, but quite strict and, but really nice. But they had like activities for the campers, activities for the kids. So I guess that day they were having a barbecue. They threw a barbecue for all the people who have long-term leases on the land, I guess, like a Brazilian. But anyway, it was wonderful. But there was like also like Jello shooters, and there was a little drinking, like a chugging contest. And I know that at the pool, that's the one thing I noticed. You know, you go camping, you should still keep an eye even on your young kids. You don't just dump them in the pool and go back to your camper and get trashed, because kids can be jerks. Like, I saw the day before, I saw a kid in the pool that was like a super jerk kid. Like, I heard some of the stuff he was saying. I was like, wow, this kid is like 5 years old and he's talking like that and hitting his sister. And then the next day, and I was telling them the story, the next day, same kid starts punching some of the kids in the water. And it's just like, and no parents not to be found. And like the people who own the place is like, what campsite are you at? And it's like, they don't care. They take no crap. So this is a big issue there. And as I was leaving, I happened to run into a firefighter buddy, because of course, everywhere I go, I meet someone. And he's like, yeah, I was like, I have a spot on the other side. He's like, I went and I had to break it up. And these people were nuts. And they're people that knew each other. But I guess they were drunk all day, and it was a mess. But yeah, like when you have to call the RCMP and the kids get taken away, sent to their uncles or their aunts until things get sorted out, that's a serious deal. But you're right. Like, I used to love camping, and I still do. And I used to stay up. I loved like when everybody went to bed, and then I sit out and the fire's going and I have a drink, and sometimes a cigar back in the day. Now I don't do that.
Cigars are so clear up in northern Alberta.
Yeah. But now I like 11:30, like, is so busy. You know, we had all the kids there, you know, day at the lake, day at the pool, you know, like we just had by 11:30, I was done. Like, I was like, I need to sleep. But I loved it. I enjoyed the camper experience. I would get a motorhome if I could afford one. They're super fun, and I would definitely consider doing the ride as a traveling roadshow to CFL towns and do a little tailgate and stuff, because I think
we already called our first trip is going to be to that town in Saskatchewan that's still serving a KFC buffet on Sundays.
Yes,
I think that might be worth your Winnebago worthy trip.
After my story
So when you usually went camping, you say you camp with the boys. Were you guys tenters?
Yes, tent.
So let me ask you this, because anybody that's ever gone on a first trailer or a motorhome trip, how did the dump go at the end of the trip? Were you able to figure that all out?
Well, see, this is the thing. It's my buddy's motorhome is old. He was trying to explain to me, but I said, we don't need to use it. We only brought his camp. We were going to tent originally until we saw that the weather was terrible. And he's like, yeah, why don't you take my camper? So we used it primarily for a covered shelter. And we had
showers and facilities.
No, we used the facilities. They had a $2 shower. They had bathrooms. So I took a little walk in the middle of the night to the bathrooms. Brittany's parents and brother had everything hooked up. We didn't hook my buddies up. I just drove it in, super tight parking spot, and I made it without wrecking anything. So I tested my backing up skills as well on the way out, especially. But yeah, no, Sheldon, I loved it. I see how fun it is. I imagine for you, getting back to what you said at the beginning, you're running your own business. You started this during COVID. You come out of COVID. You're so busy. Your bucket list is to do more with family, do more for self. And I know you got that spot in Kukanusa that you definitely don't get to enough, because if you could get there every weekend, you probably would be there. So I hope you get that opportunity, and I hope your bucket list goes through, because my little experience in RV camping was a little slice of heaven. And, I know you're not going every week, but I hope maybe every time you take a bite of that cake today, it feels like a slice of heaven.
There you go. I love it, brother. Hey, do we have time? Can I tell, speaking of dumping the trailer, which I'm sorry you missed out on that experience, although that was a very veteran move.
Hey, let me
nobody's allowed to poop in the trailer. Go ahead.
Tell your story, but I'm just going to tell you, I missed out on the RV dump experience, but you don't know my first job was I used to clean out the crappers in the back of Greyhound buses that would drive up from Mexico. So I know all about dumping.
Let me tell you this story. The year, I believe it was 2012 or 2013. We had good friends that lived across the street, and my good Italian buddy Jason Shabacatoni, who got me into the Kukanusa camping.
It was his birthday yesterday.
They finally convinced us to get our first trailer. And I'm a tall guy, so I don't like the bumper poles, because they're only like a 6.5 foot ceiling. I got a fifth wheel because it's got the high ceilings.
Yeah.
Got it out there, got it parked, no problem. I'm a farm kid, I can handle that. Had a great weekend in Sundre. As we're leaving, my good friend Terry Wick, who set us up for that first camping trip, he's like, okay, he goes, this is the part everybody hates and is intimidating when you're new, but just fall in behind me and I'll show you how it's done. So we're in line to leave Sundre, Tall Timbers, I believe it was, in Sundre. And as we're pulling out, there's a lineup of probably like 8-10 trailers in front of us. So you're just kind of waiting. Every 5 minutes you pull up a little bit further. I get to know a lady in a Class C motorhome, just like you had behind me. She's asking, how was your experience? Oh man, we love it. We're sold. We're gonna be camping all the time. And Terry gets up there, he dumps his trailer, then we pull up our brand new trailer up to the dump stations. It shows me where to stop. Okay, so here's what you do. The first thing you do is you pull out all your lines, your lines that you hook up from the sewer to your trailer. Okay, got them all laid out. Second, you see you got a black line and a gray line. Just leave those alone for now. We're going to take off the cap and we're going to attach the sewer hookup. Black line first, which is your bathroom tanks, followed by the gray line, which is just going to flush out your hose. No problem. Makes sense to me. I get down there and I try to pull off the black cap, like the cap to the master cap. And I'm like, Terry, it's not going. I'm like, is that like gravel and road dust? He goes, yeah, it must be. Sometimes a little, it's a new trailer. Maybe it's just a little sticky. And I'm in there and I get back down there. I start just reefing on the thing and it's not coming. And out of the corner of my eye, I see the calculations going on in his brain, and in slow motion, he starts diving in. No. Just as it gives way.
And
so when you get a new trailer, they leave those the tanks were both open. Everything was open. And the pressure, the reason it wasn't coming off was all the pressure of
it was pushing onto the cap.
Trip of your black and gray water was pushing on the cap. And that thing just came out blub, 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 all over the place.
All over
and
I'm
the looking
nasty.
around like, I don't know what to do. Terry swung in like a hero. He grabbed the bumper and he swings in and he kicks the black valve shut. I go and hit the other one on the other side. And I close the gray valve. And I'm just sitting there just looking stupid. What do you do in that circumstance? I've never trailer camped. I've never had my own trailer. Yeah. I've never had to do that before.
Yeah.
And he's like, well, he goes, looks like that could have gone better. And we hook up the hose and we run it out. I'm looking around. I'm like, this is a hazmat situation. He's like, should I go report this to the captain? He goes, no, dude, just go. Like, dude, just go.
Just drive.
Nobody here ever wants to see you again. The lady behind me is just howling, laughing. She says it happened to her before too. But
that's getting your first play in pro ball for getting your helmet on the bench.
Yeah,
that's all it is. That's all it is.
Yeah, yeah.
But that's a great, 2 weeks in a row, 2 great poop stories. We're gonna be known for this. Like maybe that's gonna be the I mean, I hope it's not the theme of the show, but we got a lot of rave reviews for last week's story. About me crushing food at McMahon, and that's maybe why I might not go to that KFC buffet. I don't want to do that again. But that was a great story that you just told, because when you told me about that, it reminded me of that one bus that came up from Mexico in like 35-degree Montreal, humid with no air conditioning, and I had to put a hose down the toilet to clean it out, and then go at the back and hope that the driver lined the chute up with the drain and just pull and jump. And I was like, hated my life. Worst job ever. That's the job that prepared me to be a firefighter, by the way, because if I could do that, I could do anything. And
that sounds like the job that convinced me that I'm going to make it to the CFL no matter what.
Yeah.
If these are my options, dude.
That's the job that said I'm never cleaning a bus again. But I did it for another few years. Sheldon, great story. Listen, guys, Sheldon needs to have a few slices of meatballs and cake on a break. So we're going to take a quick break. When we get back, we're going to welcome Kevin Smith. Remember, you can find us on all socials at Chevy and Nasty. We're everywhere that you follow social media and everywhere that you get podcasts. Sheldon's showing off his nice meatball. He's going to have a couple of slices, and then after he's going to crush the cake just in time for personal trainer to the stars, Kevin Smith. We'll see you in a couple minutes.
I'm living in that 21st century, doing something mean to it. Do it better than anybody you ever seen. Do it, screams from the haters, got a nice ring to it. I guess every superhero need his theme music. No one man should have all that power. The clock's ticking, I just count the hours. Stop tripping, I'm tripping off the power.
Performance Freight Management is a global logistic freight shipping company that will handle the entire shipping process for any package to any country. Whether it be a simple truck shipment from your office to Toronto or your company importing generators from China, PFM Freight handles it all. We have the expertise and technology to handle any shipping requirements. Skip the guesswork and let us take the shipping pain off your plate.
Do you want your business to be known? YYCCalgaryBusiness.ca is Calgary's only online media platform that gets you noticed. Short-form video content is rapidly taking over as the most effective way to engage your audience. Whether you're being interviewed on a vodcast, sharing a sizzle reel, or even hosting your own show, There is one place you can publicize your business. We want to tell your story and introduce you to our network of empowered business owners and leaders right here in Calgary. Isn't it time you took your digital game to 11? Call us or email us now.
Welcome back to The Ride with Chevy and Nasty. I'm Chevy, and there's the birthday boy Nasty crushing. Are you still crushing the meatball or the cake? What do we got?
I got halfway through the meatball. Now I'm just having a bite of cake, and then I'm going to put it down here for a bit.
Well, the red velvet's the way to go. For those of you just joining us, Nasty turned 51 today. He got a nice surprise of red velvet cake. And yeah, you go to town because you know what? I think when you have a personal trainer come onto your show, just the fact that he joins you on the show means that you can have cake and not retain the calories. It's kind of like a virtual workout. So I think now, without further ado, we probably should welcome the man that is a personal trainer, maybe to the stars. I don't know. He's got some stars in his roster. He's just opened up a new gym. He does a ton of work for men. He runs a Brother's Path. He's working on, I believe, a master's in higher education in psychology. And he also has a Train the Trainer event, which is going to raise awareness for mental health, not just men's mental health, but mental health in general and suicide prevention. He's a friend of the show, been a friend of ours for years, even before the show. Welcome to The Ride with Chevy and Nasty, Kevin Smith. Kevin, welcome to the show.
Guys, thanks for having me on. Nasty, happy birthday, brother, fellow Leo.
I appreciate you, man. We were talking in the green room before the show. Your birthday is actually coming up on, was it Sunday, isn't it?
Yeah, it's on Sunday, August 10th. Yeah.
There you go. Yeah, there you go. I've got a group. I don't know. I was never a big believer in the astrology of it, but I've got a ton of friends now that are Leos. And, you know, it's just, I think Leos are the easiest guys to get along with. You just got to pat each other on the back and tell each other how great you are. And you're doing awesome stuff, man. And
if you're not a Leo, you're not cool, right?
Yeah, that's it. Yeah.
So wait, Kevin, you said your birthday's on Sunday. Nasty got his piece of red velvet cake. What's your go-to birthday cake?
Marble cake. A nice marble cake with chocolate icing. That's it.
Okay.
There you
Simple.
go. Earlier, somebody wrote in, and I don't know if you have kids or anything like that, but I think it was Regan or somebody wrote in and says DQ Skittles ice cream cake. Or were you an ice cream cake guy at all?
I love the
Yeah. See, I love ice cream cake. That'd be my next pick. Chevy, I almost debated between red velvet and ice cream cake.
I'm okay with ice cream cake, but I mean, I think I always love cheesecake. Cheesecake is one of those cakes I could eat any day outside of a special occasion. But when it's birthday cake, my mom used to make my favorite cake, and it was chocolate cake, and it was out of the box, Duncan Hines. But mom made it just right. She would every year. I didn't want a birthday, but then she would surprise me and invite all my buddies over, and they loved cake. She would make a cake for me and a cake for my buddy Mike, who had his birthday 6 days after me, and his parents didn't give him a cake. So my mom always made him a cake. But a few years ago, Brittany threw me a birthday party, and she bought me my favorite flavor is mint chocolate cake. And there's a store down south in Calgary called the Cake Bake Shop. I think it's in Mackenzie Town. Probably the best cake I ever ate. It was like a Crave cupcake, icing on a cake, but mint. And like, honestly, I still have fond memories of probably, you know, they say taste is actually one of the strongest memories you have. And that cake was probably one of the best cakes I ever ate.
Amazing.
So we're all going to get fat this week.
And that's why it's so appropriate that we have Kevin on. Before we talk about the event, tell us a little bit about yourself. What would be your advice to a couple of knuckleheads like me and Chevy after we overindulged on our birthday? What is it that you do? What is your approach to training? Because I know you've got a lot of, I see your socials. You have some real strong opinions in terms of how to keep men our age young, healthy, and virile.
Yeah. One of the biggest things is leave your ego at the door. You know, some of us, all three of us have been in the gym since we were young, like early teens. And sometimes guys our age don't grow out of that, how we used to train in our our 20s and in their 30s. As we get 40, 50, 60 and beyond, we have to leave the ego at home and train smarter, not harder.
Let me ask you this.
That's interesting.
Okay,
if you don't
ahead.
mind, Chev. Oh.
Yeah.
So I've recently gotten back to the gym in the last 4 months. And you know what I did? I went back and I started training heavy. Hey, can I get can I get back to rep in 225? Can I
100%.
Can I throw 135 on the shoulder press? Can I do pull-ups? And you know what? My shoulder's messed up. I've actually been out of the gym for 2 weeks. I got to go get some physio and figure out what's going on. Then I start seeing this thing about the best predictor for a man or a person for how long they're going to live is this exercise of squatting on the floor, or is like sitting on the floor and getting up off the ground, and be in the least amount of movements or touching the floor. Is that what you're talking about? Is movement or what?
So for men over the age of 40 and beyond, strength training is huge and mobility is huge. Those two things are what I don't do a lot of cardio, but cardiovascular wise, I'm very strong. So I focus on the mobility side and the strength side, and everything kind of ties in after that. So that's how I train my clients who are busy working professionals.
Let me ask you this question. I was sitting at the table with some buddies a few weeks ago, all older men, my age, 49, 45, 50, a guy in his mid 50s. And one of the guys is like, yeah, Chev, you look bigger. He's like, you look bigger, you look stronger. And he kind of were giving me a couple of compliments. And I was like, yeah, you know what? And I said, listen, guys, I said, the reason why I look like this at my age, it's not because of anything special, but it was consistency. Like for me, I never stopped training. I never took time off. So I still lift heavy. I mean, you and I know, Kevin, like, and we talked about it here on the show, like the fire truck pull. Like I went to pull the fire truck with zero prep, except for the fact that I lift lots of weights. And I was trying to tell these guys that it's not that I was genetically gifted or any of that. It's just that I never stopped. And I commit, like when people are binge watching Netflix shows or sporting events, I don't miss a workout. Like if I have to pick between going to the gym on a Friday night and I didn't work out during the day or watching the CFL, I'll find a way to listen to the CFL game and go to the gym instead of just sitting on the couch and watching. Same with COVID. So there's consistency. And then, so I talked a little bit about what I do and how I train to the guys. And then the next day I apologized to him. I sent a text to the group. I was like, listen, guys, sorry that I focused it on me. Like you guys had asked the question and it kind of went off on that. I said, but here's what I'm going to do. Not just talk about what I do, but I'm going to invite you guys. If you guys want to come any day of the week, come with me to the gym, to the YMCA. We'll go get a workout. Like you don't have to do 5 times a week like me or 4 times, but even twice. And then the responses that I got from my buddies were like, well, this is the thing. Like, I don't want to feel like I'm going to get smushed, or like, I don't want to feel pain for 2 weeks. I don't want so when Sheldon asks you the question, what's the key for guys to get back in the gym like me or you? Kind of easy. It's just a little bit like, hey, you did it before, you could do it. What do you say to the guys that is not their thing, but we know that resistance training is one of the long-term keys to longevity? How do you convince someone that never went to the gym, that doesn't enjoy working out, that had no purpose for it like me or Sheldon did? How do you convince them to say, hey, you know what? You need to do some sort of resistance training. How do you do that?
Actually, I had a great example of that about a month ago. There's a gentleman in my group called Brothers Path. It's just men supporting men. It's a great men's support network. Didn't want to go into the gym, but he wanted to do something social. So I invited him to a community workout. And, I know he wasn't a gym guy. He said he doesn't like the gym. He'll never enter the gym without a reason, right? And so he ended up doing the community workout. We all went out for a bite after, and he was in such a good mood. Like this guy was just in such a good mood. And I just didn't say anything about it. And then the next morning I just sent a text. It's like, how you feeling? He goes, oh, that's what I've been missing. He was sore.
Yeah.
He was sore. Yeah. He's now a member at the Realm Fitness. Okay. And he's been like, it's been great. Like it's been a couple of months now and he's been so consistent. So I think if you can just convince people that are not into resistance training and strength training, if you can just get them in the door, just to work out with you, just to understand what you're passionate about, and you can word it that way too. My friend Haley is passionate about horses. I'm passionate about fitness. I'm passionate about horses too. But find what they're passionate about. Maybe you can experience both sides. Right.
So let me ask this follow-up question, because you're talking about guys. Our show caters to guys that are a little bit older. Like Sheldon on the flip side of 50. I'm approaching 50. We got guys a little younger, even a lot younger, guys older. You talk about passion. Some guys, their passion is, getting through their work week, getting to that night where they go have beers and wings, maybe after a sporting event. Where's the balance that people need to find with that? Because, there's guys who go play an hour and a half of hockey, sweat their bag off, but then after, I know they're not looking at the hockey game as a workout. They're looking at it as a recreational opportunity. Did I say that properly? Anyways, yeah. But then how much damage do they do to that workout by just consuming tons of beers and chicken wings? You know what I'm trying to say? Like, that's part of the culture of being a dude. How can we have that and still, try to work on our fitness?
Honestly, everything's in moderation. Everything is in moderation. If you're going into the gym 4 or 5 times a week, working out, strength training, getting a good sweat in, getting an excellent workout in, maybe once a week, go out for a beer, go out for a pint, but know when to, instead of 5 beers, let's have 2. Right? When people start to make just small changes, just small little changes, it'll catch on. Like they'll make these small changes and they'll catch on, they'll feel better, it'll go well. I mean, I think that's just about it.
And that is the truth too. We talked about like guys afraid of like, I don't want to wreck myself for the week. But I think any guy that's out there, when you walk away from resistance training and you feel sore, it is a good feeling. That was my favorite thing when you brought that up. That was my favorite thing when I got back into the gym again.
Well, we want people to feel sore. We don't want them in pain.
Because you feel like you're getting harder. Like even at 50, even for me at 50 this year, I was making gains. My shoulders changed shapes. My pecs tightened up, and it wasn't like I wasn't going 5 times a week. I was a good week. I was going 3, maybe 4 times. A bad week, I was going twice. Yeah. But it made a difference.
You just turned 51, right? Just 51. I'm turning 58, and I still train 4 times a week. I see the changes. I know when I take a break and I can feel it. But as soon as I get back under the bar,
and let me pause right here, because first of all, I want to let people know that we have Kevin Smith here. Talking about men's health, men's fitness. We're going to talk about a few other things, but Kevin just mentioned he's 58. He's basically 10 years older than me. And the reason I bring that up is because a few months ago, we did the fire truck pull, and the person that I was trying to catch was
I am still bitter.
58-year-old Kevin Smith. So, as much of an accomplishment as it was for me to do that I wasn't really preparing for and did it in the time that I did, huge accomplishment for a 58-year-old man to pull a fire truck on his own. And I wish I had the video here.
I'm sorry, Chevy, but I'm watching Kevin right now saying like, screw you, Chev. I'm pissed that you beat me. My time was good. Do not blame this on my age. I am going to go back and work on my start or work on my stride. Next year, he's beating you.
Yeah, he challenged me. Yeah, $500 to charity. Yeah, he put a challenge out, $500 to charity that he beats me. You know what? I didn't know I was doing it. I'm still not going to train for it. So whatever happens next year, I'm going to do the exact same thing I did. But speaking of training, and we're going to kind of transition to the event, but you mentioned your new gym, the Realm Fitness. Tell us a little bit about this before we talk about the event where it's taking place.
So when you say it's my gym, all the personal trainers are there. Mike, who is an amazing entrepreneur, small businessman, had this plan to open this one-stop shop, this lifting paradise. You know how Venice Beach Golds is the Mecca?
Yeah.
this is the Mecca.
Mm.
This
So
will be
what makes it one stop? What makes it the Mecca?
It's the sheer size is 44,000 square feet of gym.
Oh,
Like when people,
wow.
it's Canada's biggest gym, and we're not including like the Rocky View YMCA that has a pool and tracks. We're not. We're talking about gym, and it's phenomenal. The community there. This is what Calgary. This is what Alberta's needed for a very long time in the fitness industry, something of this magnitude that's done with so much passion for people who are so serious about their training to come in and train, because it's pretty cool when even when it's busy, you can walk through the gym, but people aren't just standing around and talking for hours on end. You don't have like a group of 5 or 6 guys just chattering away on one piece of equipment. It's people are in there, they're working. And it's amazing. It's amazing. And if they want to hang out, our main foyer has like 1, 2, 3, 4, Chesterfields, and they can hang out and have a shake from Supplement World. Plug Supplement World Inglewood. So we can do that, but it's just you can spend the day there. And that's the coolest part. Like you could not go. It would take you the full day to go through every piece of equipment just to try it once.
Does it have a warm-up area too? Like, does it have any turf or anything down where you can kind of warm up before? And but 44,000 feet, that is massive. I have a hard time picturing what that looks like. It's a warehouse. Yeah, no, it's like it's a large warehouse.
It's a very large warehouse. The last use for that was actually the filming of The Last of Us.
Right.
The HBO, I think, or AMC.
Yeah. HBO.
And we actually have Pedro Pascal's hair chair still at the gym, which is kind of sweet. Yeah, but there's a functional area there that has turf. We still have some racks, assault bikes. We have some heavy bags that are hanging, and then we're going to be putting out a jiu-jitsu mat on the floor onto the end to finish it off. So yeah, it's cool.
So the fitness industry is obviously very competitive. It's very challenging for entrepreneurs. Obviously, during COVID, we know what happened to a lot of privately owned fitness companies and even larger franchise type corporations. What's going to get people from different parts of the town to drive there versus going to their local Good Life or YMCA? What's the draw? Like, how are you going to get people there? Like, what should someone or anyone listening to the show decide? Hey, like, I want to check this place out. Besides the train the trainer event, what will get someone there?
The gym itself is one of the it's the community that we're building right now, and what the sheer amount of equipment we have, how we have it. It is. We do have a lot of influencers in our gym, and the lighting, the way we set up the lighting, the coloring, it's amazing. Yeah. And it's so inviting. And I give props to the people at the front desk at the Realm. But I mean, it is such a welcoming gym to everybody. It's amazing. And once we have people coming in from DeWinton, which I think is a 45-minute drive down to Inglewood, give or take. Yep. 5 days a week. People from Seton. They're coming. They hear about it. They see it on social media. People are posting and tagging and resharing. People want to check it out.
Well, that's great.
I'm the kind of guy, I'm not always social at the gym, but I do like welcoming. I like to get to know the people at the front desk, or at least to feel like, you walk in there and that is a welcoming environment. It feels good to walk in like you're walking into your second job, right?
Yeah. And one of the things I really like about the Realm is the fact that how they take care of their clients. When you come in, we still, everyone grabs a rag and grabs a spray bottle, wipes down their equipment, but we actually have spray bottles with purple rags, and purple rags gives people the ability not to be talked to. If you have a purple rag, I'm in my own zone. I'm hangry. I don't want to be touched. I don't want to be talked to. But yeah, it does it that way too. So I like that. And I think that's very inviting for a lot of people as well.
We had a question here and it says, what is the cost for a drop-in at the Realm in Inglewood?
$30. A drop-in is $30. Yeah.
Okay, cool. Now, we talked about all the reasons people would come for working out and people coming from all over, DeWinton, Seton, all over Calgary. But this weekend, people are coming for a different reason. This is the second annual Train the Trainer. First time you're hosting it at the Realm. It's an event, cradle to the grave, conceived by you to basically raise awareness for mental health and suicide prevention. Tell us a little bit about the event. Tell us where you want, like where it's going and how you're going to accomplish this.
Okay. Well, thank you for just allowing me to come on and talk about it. Talk about Train the Trainer. So Train the Trainer, we had our first year last year, and it was amazing. It was so much fun. We basically, Train the Trainers events have been around for a very long time.
Okay.
And in the fitness industry, but they're usually done under one roof, under your own, with just employees, right? And I thought it'd be cool if we just took all these independent fitness professionals from, around Calgary under one roof to do the same thing. And showing that we don't have to be territorial. We can support, one another in something that's amazing. And it's not really about the trainer. It's not about the gym. It's about, creating an impact in the mental health community.
So to me, that seems like something that wouldn't be done very often, because you know how it is as an independent contractor, whether you're a realtor, a photographer, the last thing that you want to do is throw an event and introduce your clients to all these other amazing professionals in your industry. But at the same time, it's such an alpha move to do that, just to say, listen, we can unite. We're not here to steal clients. Let's do something great together.
Oh, absolutely. I've been doing this for over 35 years, and I'm not territorial. I'm not a territorial trainer, and I'm very confident if my client met another trainer and he or she wants to train with that trainer, they're going to go train with that trainer. And it's just business. But it's really hard. Personal trainers, it's a very ego-driven industry, and getting people to come in for doing an event like what I'm doing for mental health, it's very difficult to get people in to do it. Sometimes you're going to look silly, you're going to work hard, and sometimes that's just not the vibe for people to get involved with.
Right.
But how's it been? Are you getting a lot of people? Are you finding a lot of trainers that are involved? Like how many?
No, actually I've been posting for quite a while. But we're at, I think, 15 trainers so far. And
that's still a big number.
It's a good number, but I was hoping for half of my goal, which was 25. But
right.
Anything is better than nothing, and we're going to have a great time doing it.
Yeah, and I think the experience that we had, when we did the mental health movie night a couple of years ago, and then we did it again this year, it takes a while to get that traction and to get that buy-in and stuff. But I think you're doing the right things. I mean, you did have to change locations this year. And I think, from everything I heard about your new location, I think the word will spread pretty quickly on that. But you also have a companion event going on with this. It's not just the Train the Trainer, right? I think you have another, I believe a friend of the show, Craig Hannum, coming up for so tell us a little bit about that. And basically after that, how people can get to either of these events.
Okay. So on Saturday, August 9th, we're having Train the Trainer, and Craig is going to be one of our MCs for the event.
Okay.
Craig is also a former U.S. Ranger. He does suicide prevention and training, and he's going to be doing a little bit of everything at Train the Trainer. What I'm doing is I'm helping him do a complete seminar on Sunday, August 10th at friends of the show, this Tony and Mike down at Spalumbo's. They're opening up their deli for us to do our seminar there, and Craig is going to do that. And I couldn't be prouder of the work that he's done.
Yeah. And I know a lot of our listeners have been introduced to him before, and Craig Hannum is just one of those one of the most principled men on a worthy mission that you'll ever meet in your life. So yeah, I'm glad to hear. I didn't know about that. That's awesome. I'm glad that came down.
Very cool.
And so how can people get involved? Do we have some links that people can get involved? One for the Train the Trainer event, and then the companion event on Sunday at Spalumbo's.
Well, Train the Trainer is open to the public. You just come in, drop in.
What time would that be at?
It's going to start at 9:30 in the morning on 9:30 in the morning on Saturday, August 9th. I'll go till about 3 or 3:30 p.m. with the live auction finishing off the day, and then the suicide prevention training, which is called the toughest topic. I have an Eventbrite. Yeah. Sorry, guys. I'm not used to being up this late.
No, that's good.
Eventbrite link, and I can send that to Trey.
Yeah, I think you sent that to us. So I think that's in the email that you had sent to us. So I think 2 top-notch events. From the Train the Trainer to the event with Craig. What a great way to spin it! Like you have an active participation event that's it's inviting in that it's kind of fun, and it's not necessarily the heavy part of it, but then you kind of bookend it with a great event where people can actually learn. I think in many people's lives, suicide and especially mental health has touched all of us. I think there's no one immune from the effects of mental health and how it affects people, how it ripples into their lives, and really how it can be crippling and traumatic to not only individuals but families. So I love the work you're doing for this. It's obviously right down the alley of the show. In fact, a lot of the connections we make through the show through you or Craig, Daryl, it's all been with the same purpose. It's raising awareness for mental health, and here we lean in a little bit to men's mental health and men's health. But, like you said, when you talk about trainers, there's no egos. Whatever we can do to raise that bar from lack of awareness to even the base level awareness for even everyday people is a great thing. So I just think you're doing a fantastic job. Obviously, Kevin, known you for years, followed you when you started the Brothers Path and into the stuff you're doing now. It's fantastic stuff. It's fantastic stuff.
I appreciate it. I appreciate it a lot, guys. And Randy, I am still a little bit bitter about the truck pull. You brought it up. You opened a scab.
Yeah, it's like when I talk about my Grey Cup rings with Sheldon.
I'll tell you what. Work on that stride length. Listen, I've competed with and against Chevy for years. He's got, for a guy, he's not overly tall, but he's got a stride length. You hire yourself a running coach. Swap strength for running coach. Work on that stride. You'll beat Chevy next year. You got the cardio. You already said it. You got the cardio. You just need the stride.
I'm up for the challenge for sure.
Love it, Kevin. Kevin, thanks for joining us and telling us all about the amazing work that you've been doing in the city for years. Honestly, you're the kind of guy that the city's built on, and we really appreciate you. So thanks for coming on. And for the rest of you guys, we're going to have to take a quick break now. So, go grab a snack, grab a drink, grab a pee. When we come back, we got a little bit of studs or duds. We got a couple of good ones. I don't know if you heard about that thing in Denmark going on right now with the tigers and the house pests and all that stuff. We're going to break down a couple of weird things going on in the world here when we come back in about 3 minutes. See you guys.
I'm living in that 21st century, doing something mean to it. Do it better than anybody you ever seen. Do it, screams from the haters, got a nice ring to it. I guess every superhero need his theme music. No one man should have all that power. The clock's ticking, I just count the hours. Stop tripping, I'm tripping off the power.
Performance Freight Management is a global logistic freight shipping company that will handle the entire shipping process for any package to any country. Whether it be a simple truck shipment from your office to Toronto or your company importing generators from China, PFM Freight handles it all. We have the expertise and technology to handle any shipping requirements. Skip the guesswork and let us take the shipping pain off your plate.
Do you want your business to be known? YYCCalgaryBusiness.ca is Calgary's only online media platform that gets you noticed. Short-form video content is rapidly taking over as the most effective way to engage your audience. Whether you're being interviewed on a vodcast, sharing a sizzle reel, or even hosting your own show, there is one place you can publicize your business. We want to tell your story and introduce you to our network of empowered business owners and leaders right here in Calgary. Isn't it time you took your digital game to 11? Call us or email us now.
Why am I
Chevy,
small?
you're so small. There you go.
I know. There we go. It's the birthday edition of the Ride with Chevy and Nasty. We got Lance. You're Lance, your broker from listening up to the show. A lot of happy birthdays coming.
You, Lance, appreciate you.
You know, it's one.
Appreciate you as always. Rob Evans, thanks, buddy.
Yeah, look at that. You know, and
did you finish? Did
you finish the cake?
It's she gone.
Yeah,
I couldn't finish it all.
No,
but I'll tell you what, Chev. Like, I really do appreciate all the birthday well wishes and all that going on tonight. But the fact that what you pulled off with my wife, and I mean, honestly, brother, that was so thoughtful. That my wife called me from the grocery store saying, "Hey, what kind of cake? What's your favorite cake?" Oh, we couldn't get the one you normally want. She set it up perfectly. I had no idea this was coming.
Oh, I appreciate it, Amanda. She's special. Yeah,
my wife Amanda is special, but dude, you made this thing happen, and I'll tell you what, I couldn't be more touched. I love it. That's a lot of thought. I don't always do things like that, but you know what, you do, and I tell you what, it's appreciated. Thanks.
Well, and that's the thing. I don't always do things like that either, but the once in a while that I think about it, I'm like, man, that's what the world needs. A little bit more just, hey, do something fun, do something special. Yeah. And you know, the thing is, you asked before, you're like, hey, do I have time to tell a story? And I'm like, Sheldon, you have all the time in the world. 1, it's your birthday. 2, it's your show. So you can talk about whatever you want to talk about. That's the way it goes. But Trey wants us off because, you know, he's got a girlfriend now. Yeah. And, you know, that, you know how it is now, you know, got the girl, she's tapping on the watch. She's like, hey, honey, get off that little podcast you got going because, you know, mama needs some loving. But before mama gets some loving, we got to get through this third segment where we do some studs and duds or studs or duds. So where do you want? Well, I guess we start with the splitter. Trey, hit the splitter.
Studs and duds.
I think we're going studs or duds again.
Let's do it.
Why do we start? I teased it a little bit at the start of this thing. I don't know if you guys saw it this week. I'm just, you know, I get weird news popping up in my reels and my algorithms all the time. But all of a sudden I saw it pop up that Denmark is weird. I'm sorry, people from Denmark, the country itself, is a weird culture where they do weird things that, you know, might not be always the way the rest of the world sees things, but they are actually, the zoos in Denmark are advertising to pet owners across the country that, hey, if you have any pets that you don't want, our lions and tigers would love to help you out with that. Denmark Zoo asked people to donate their small pets as food for captive predators.
Whoa.
Chevy, I read that. I was like, that is messed up even for Denmark. Well, what's your take on that? What's the first thing that comes to your mind? Your pet, like pet Bowser, your kitty Lexi?
When you talked about it today, first of all, I read it wrong. I thought it was, you know, that they were asking for donations for food. And I thought, hey, that's not too bad. You know, like, you know, buy a steak, bring it to the zoo, feed the lion. I think that'd be pretty cool. So yeah, I had but I didn't realize that it was actually feeding your pets. Yeah, I think that's a stupid idea. So for me, that's a dud. I couldn't imagine. First of all, my poor little Callie, little Pomeranian. And I take ownership of it because it's my dog too. Even though my dog lives in Red Deer with my girlfriend, she's my dog, and I couldn't imagine feeding her to a lion. Like, first of all, there's no meat, and she's only 8 pounds. Like, it's not even
an hors d'oeuvre. That's really that's like
a shrimp, one shrimp on the shrimp cocktail tray. So no, I think that's a dud move. If this is a joke, is it a legitimate news source?
It's legitimate. It's legitimate.
It's a dud. For me, it's a dud.
I will say this for them though. It came out today. They did come out today after I already introduced the topic and saying, well, what we really meant to say, like their tray was highlighting guinea pigs, rabbits. They never said anything about cats or dogs. It was all rabbits, guinea pigs, pigs. But they said, well, what we're really looking for is the larger animals, horses, farm animals that are about to be euthanized soon anyway.
Yeah.
From that standpoint, I don't care where it goes to for meat for the end of life. It's not like the tigers are hunting them.
Yeah, but how you get listen, Calgary Zoo is about 20 minutes from my house. I got a horse. How am I bringing a horse to the Calgary Zoo? Like, you calling Amazon? Is there like a shipping? Like, can you get a UPS truck to deliver the?
Clearly, Chevy, you call Performance Freight Management, and Daryl will take care of it for you.
Yes. Oh, what a great plug, Daryl.
You know what they say, Daryl? Any pub is good pub. Call Performance Freight Management.
Yeah, they'll get your lions and tigers fed with your horses.
Isn't that weird though? Isn't like that is such a thing that I never thought in my 51 years on this planet that I would ever see a call for pet donations to feed the tigers.
No, I never saw
something about that doesn't feel right. I get it. That's the way nature works. If it is an end of life horse, cow, but when they're advertising it as passive, dude, it just felt wrong.
No, that's a dud. Sheldon, speaking of things that I never saw coming, and I didn't think I'd see this coming for a number of years, or at least until the court case is settled. SummerSlam took place on the weekend, and I'm not sure, I know Trey's our resident wrestling expert, but I think the world was shocked to see the return of Brock Lesnar. Now, for those of you who don't remember, Brock Lesnar was named in the lawsuit. A little loud with the music there, Trey. Thank you.
Quite on my end.
Yeah, it was a quiet. I was blasting in my ears. Brock Lesnar was named in the I guess human trafficking lawsuit where Vince McMahon was the primary defendant. If you recall, this was last year, just before the Netflix documentary was released on Mr. McMahon, where he was accused.
I remember that, but how was Lesnar involved in that?
Well,
I thought he was just living a simple life in Saskatchewan, living off the land in a cabin and hunting.
Well, so Vince McMahon, obviously, a lot. We read out some of the court documents and some of the stuff depositions.
Yeah.
So one of the depositions involved Brock Lesnar, basically as an incentive to signing a contract with the WWE, he was offered this assistant as a sexual toy, and a lot of explicit material came out of the lawsuit implicating Brock Lesnar. And again, he was offered to use this lady for sexual favors by Mr. McMahon.
Like the use of the corporate helicopter. Is that what you're saying?
Yeah. Like, this is yours. Wow. You could use it whenever you want. But it was pretty, like, the stuff that came out was pretty gross. But that being said, there's a couple of things going on there that haven't been decided in court. But right after that, the WWE, publicly traded company, basically scrubbed Brock Lesnar from the history books, scrubbed him from the video games. Like, he was on the cover of one of the WWE 2K whatever, scrubbed him from everything. Like, he did not exist in the WWE anymore. Just as much as Vince McMahon is no longer affiliated and kind of scrubbed. And I guess lo and behold, this weekend he makes an appearance. He does his signature move on John Cena, and basically as Trey mentions, WWE canceled all their press conference after he returned, and they ducked all questions. But Sheldon, I guess, first of all, is this a stud or dud move on the WWE's part, knowing that this lawsuit is still ongoing? He's named as a major figure in it, and we know some of the stuff that's gone on based on the court deposition. So one is WWE stud or dud, and then finally, could this mark a shift in the pendulum of cancel culture? Because basically he was canceled and he's just been uncanceled.
I'll tell you what, and I'm welcoming the end of cancel culture. I want you to be judged by not innuendo, by what you did or what or be judged by where you were at that time that you said it. And let's face it, dude, because I'm all for the end of cancel culture. However, some people deserve to be canceled. I'm not going to be the one that sets the bar. For me, this is interesting to me because I didn't know that Brock Lesnar was implicated in those details of it.
Quite heavily. Quite
heavily. Eh? Like, for me, this sounds like bring him back. He's a big name. He'll fill some arenas, get kids excited. And if he doesn't work out in 3 months, let him go. So what you're saying, his implications was not innuendo. Like, he was actually, because I read some of the transcripts of what Vince McMahon and some of the complaints against him. It was like disgusting. I mean, it was so immoral. Like, that I'm sure Ron Jeremy would have blushed at half of this stuff, right? With Brock Lesnar, was he that involved, or was he would just offer that in a contract? Like, I'd have to know.
Well, he was that involved and apparently that willing of a participant to be party to this.
He's out. That's bad for the brand. How could they even do that in a publicly traded company?
And for
bringing Bill Cosby or Jeffrey Epstein back.
But for perspective here, last week we talked about the Team Canada sex trial, and that is over and done. The judge ruled, and the judge's ruling had to be 99.9% certain that these guys either did what they are accused of or didn't. And she ruled in favor of the guys. Canceled. In that situation, there's still people arguing and complaining that, no, it's done. In the court of law, it's done. In this situation,
and you review the facts, and it was done. That was the end of, okay, we got him here, so let's hang him. What I'm asking you, Chev, so you're telling me Brock Lesnar is not just allegations, but there is like hard fact that he was as involved as Vince McMahon was?
Well,
he's got to be out.
And again, according to the court decisions, and this is the thing. The Team Canada thing, when I talked about it last week, there was a lawyer on, and he was talking about in a lawsuit, whether it's a civil lawsuit, it's not you're either 100% guilty or you're 100% innocent. They basically fight over the gray area to say, well,
in the civil.
Yeah, there's a probability that this did happen, and there's a probability that this didn't happen. If the probability that this happened was, well, you got enough evidence to say, yeah, it's probably 80% true, everything she said. What does 80% true cost WWE? And until they figure that out, like you said, it's bad for I'm not saying he's 100% guilty, but there's a lot going on there that the public's, I guess the public that loves wrestling might not necessarily be the public that wants everyone to fry, but there's going to be a crossover there where people are going to be uncomfortable with this.
It is a big brand. It would be like the NFL bringing back an O.J. Simpson week.
Yeah.
Right? Like, okay, the court of law never found him guilty for murder, but there's a lot of stuff there. I'm gonna throw away your reference to the NHL, to the hockey players, like Hockey Canada. To me, that's a totally separate thing. They brought it to court. The light was shone on it, and we all got to see it. Anybody that was interested can go and get the facts and read the testimony and all of that. Totally different.
Yeah.
This one, I'm really coming down hard on Brock. I guess I also have to say I better wait until I read the transcripts because I haven't. Yeah. But to me, it sounds like a bad preemptive move on the part of the WWE if this stuff is still pending. I didn't see any NHL team bringing back Dylan Dubé or any of the other players. Pending. We'll see how the trial turns out. We'll make a decision after the trial. If you're that big of a brand, you don't touch it.
Yeah, you don't touch it until it's over. And then, you look at Michael Vick. He did his time. Then he got back. You look at some of the other guys, but this is still ongoing. And just I don't know, but I like I said, it's one of those things that I was quite surprised. I'm sure people who like the wrestling just for the wrestling and don't care about the real world probably thought it was awesome. I'm curious to hear what Trey thinks, because he's a huge wrestling fan, but he also lives in the real world. But Trey, what do you think about this? Put your comments below. I want to know. But yeah, so stud or dud, WWE?
Yeah, I think it's a bad move.
Yeah,
I think it's a bad move. I got to do my own research on this thing, because I don't like to give an opinion without really knowing what's going on, because you hear a lot of things in this world. But for me, Chev, I don't think I would have touched it. I don't think the payoff was there. I don't think he was that popular.
Yeah,
anymore, right? He was.
He's a big draw. And yeah, you're right. He lives in a farm in Saskatchewan. I believe his son just got drafted to the WHL. I think he's still just living his quiet life and letting this pay out. And WWE says, hey, we're going to give you a big check to go F5 John Cena on his farewell tour. Sure. And you know what? Whatever happens, it's kind of like we talked about Hulk Hogan last week. The line between Brock Lesnar, the character, and Brock Lesnar, the human being. In this case, it's kind of blurred. And, all those horrible things that Hulk Hogan did outside of the ring that people attributed to Hulk Hogan and not Terry Bollea. Well, this might be a similar case for Brock Lesnar. But the one thing about Brock, he never seemed to be a guy that cared what people thought about him. He relished the bad guy role and the reclusive bad guy role in real life. And this kind of just plays into it. And whether this lawsuit goes forward and it's proven that, the accuser is right or he's not, time will tell. And Chad Smith, Dine and Dash Dad, usually where there's smoke, there's fire. WWE is not in a great place right now. A little bit of a funk for them. Sheldon, let's move on. We talked about aging gracefully. And, I started this week watching all the old Naked Guns because I heard the brand new Naked Gun with Liam Neeson, which is kind of an odd match. Liam Neeson and Naked Gun, he's played first of all, he's played one of the great Jedis of all time in Qui-Gon Jinn. He's been in some of the greatest action movies that we've ever seen. Obviously Taken. I believe Rob Roy is one of my favorite movies of all time.
Great throwback to it. That's an old movie, but a great throwback there.
Oh, amazing movie. That was like Braveheart before Braveheart when it came out. He's such a body of work. But, and I heard this Naked Gun movie's got like almost a 98 rating on Rotten Tomatoes. So I'm very curious. So I decided that I'm going to go to the old Frank Drebin with the name escapes me.
O.J. Simpson.
Yeah, O.J. Simpson, and very famous Canadian. My brain shut off. Leslie Nielsen. Yeah, but apparently he's got some comedy in him. But not only does he have some comedy in him, he's got some romance in him, because at 70, I believe he's 77 years old or 72 years old, he developed an on-screen romance with co-star and off-screen romance Pamela Anderson. Now, Pamela Anderson might not have aged as gracefully as Mr. Neeson or yourself, but I mean, this is Pamela Anderson, man. Okay. And he's going out with Pamela Anderson. Is Mr. Neeson a stud or a dud?
Absolute stud. That's a great move. And here's the thing too. Like, okay, first off, how old did you say he is right now?
He's like 72 or 77. One of those two.
He's in good health. What he was bringing to that role, just from the trailers that I watched, the guy's a sharp dude, and I've always enjoyed him. I think he was the perfect choice. A little unlikely, but when they announced it, the perfect choice to take over the Leslie Nielsen role, because I love that franchise. Watched it with my dad when I was a kid, because that's who Leslie Nielsen was. He was our dad's comedian, right? Second of all, to Pamela Anderson, I think she's aged great.
Yeah,
I watched her make her comeback when she's like, "Screw this! I'm not wearing makeup anymore. I'm not going to play the character anymore that I used to play." She got a show on the Home and Garden Network, flipping houses. Her personality came out. 58. There's an age gap there, but like they say, girls mature faster than boys. And so if she's 58, he's 72. They're probably maturity kind of right around the same thing.
Well, and you got to understand that if you don't know the history, Liam Neeson's wife, his first wife, she died on a ski hill in Montreal or just outside of Montreal. So he's been a widower for a little while now. And, unlikely spot to find love on the set of Naked Gun with me. When you think of Pamela Anderson, right, you think of going back to the Baywatch days. You think of Tommy Lee and Pamela, you think of the sex tape, you think of some of the early parts of her career that, the barbed wire tattoo, all that.
Early part, okay, you're sugarcoating it. The early part of her career was as a Playboy playmate being discovered at the
BC Lions game, right? BC Lions game as was the Budweiser girl. So, she's had a long career. She's quite an icon. Like when you talk about icons of our youth, last week, we talked about Hulk Hogan. Pamela Anderson was just as big. Pamela Anderson was it for female icons in our age. So to see, Liam Neeson, rekindling his love loins for Pamela Anderson, I think this is a stud move. Like we talked about Justin Trudeau last week and Katy Perry. You gave it a dud. I gave Trudeau a stud for shooting his shot, but this one looks like a match made in heaven. In fact, he just sold his downtown New York penthouse apartment for $10 million that he bought in 1999 with his ex-wife, who's she's no longer alive. Sold his condo for $10 million. He bought it for $3 million. So he's on the up and up. Looks like he's getting out of the bat cave, and he's gonna maybe shack up with Pamela pretty soon. Trey's pulling up some of the nice pictures there of them together. It's all the movie promos, but yeah, there you go, Trey, showing the day. They look good together. They look like a sexy couple.
Honestly, I have zero problem with this. I think he's a stud. I like the move. I've always liked Liam Neeson. He's the only guy I know that has played the exact same character in probably 2 or 3 different franchises. That never gets old to me. Like I just love it. He gets the joke, but he can change it up whenever he needs to. Love it.
He's like an ex-CIA guy on a plane. He's an ex-CIA guy on a train. He's an ex-CIA guy in a bus. He's an ex-CIA guy in a hot dog stand. Like everything is an ex-CIA guy with a special set of skills.
And I don't know if you can see that, but I just got sent another birthday greeting with the original Leslie Nielsen. Nice beaver.
Yeah. Oh yeah, nice beaver. I watched that the other night. So I watched the Naked Gun series and they're still good. Like the opening scene of the original Naked Gun is him or all the evil leaders of the world back then. You talk about the Ayatollah, talk about Gaddafi. You talk about Gorbachev. You talk about all these guys sitting in a room plotting evil acts against the U.S. And then Leslie Nielsen comes in, throws the hot coffee on all of them, beats them all up, and it goes just from there. And it's so stupid, but it's so funny. And yeah, you mentioned O.J. Simpson. He plays Norbert, and he's always getting destroyed. Like every scene, he's dying or getting killed.
Did you see the new trailer though, where they're all sitting there looking at like the images of their fathers from the grave?
Oh yeah,
like homage and the dude's just like no.
Yeah, no, OJ got canceled pretty good. He did it to himself, but if you like the old Naked Gun series, which
cool.
Yeah. Anyway, you guys should watch those again, and I might check out the new one just for nostalgia. And you know what? Again, Liam Neeson, a stud. Any other? A little bit of Stamps talk. Stamps look pretty bad against Ottawa Red Blacks.
Stamps are fine. PJ Walker is not Vernon Adams Jr. He struggled. He looked better. He looked in more control than he did the first game, and I think he's going to continue to improve. But like any team in this league, Winnipeg Blue Bombers are not going to ride or die with Strevler. It's going to be with Collaros. Calgary is Vernon Adams' team. We need him to get healthy, and I love what I'm seeing. I was a little disappointed. I thought the defense could have played better than they did, but the defense is fine. We're going through a lull, and Vernon Adams will be back. And when we're back, he's back. Look out.
Trey's starting to get the trade wagon going for Trey Ford to Calgary.
I'll tell you, the only criticism of the Elks is honesty, and I love Trey Ford. All off season and going into the regular season and the first 3 weeks of the regular season, I was all about Trey Ford. right now, I don't think you can make any argument to get Fajardo out of there.
Yeah, he's pretty legit. I mean, they're not winning, but
they're looking as good as they've looked in a long time.
Yeah, I mean, there's the rankings right there. Saskatchewan's still on top. Calgary, couple of losses in a row. This week's a big week for Calgary. It's a big, even though they strung together those 3 big wins, versus Winnipeg and Saskatchewan. You start going to a little bit of a death spiral this point of the year, and then Labor Day sneaks up on you. And Labor Day is one of those things.
Yeah, PJ Walker's a bit of a dud, but he's your second string quarterback. You don't judge the Calgary Stampeders on PJ Walker. My question is, we're playing the Blue Bombers again this weekend, are we?
Yep.
And this one's scary to me because you've got Winnipeg, who's going to be super determined. I think Claros is back. I haven't heard one way or the other, but I'm assuming he's back. This could be a game that really muddies up the West. I mean, we're talking about 3 teams competing for first, and I think right now Saskatchewan's running with it. And we're just trying to figure out which second place team is for real. I believe it's the Stampeders, but they might lose this weekend.
Well, the hard thing is this. I'm looking at the standings there, and the Red Blacks only 2 wins come against the Stampeders. Stamps got a couple of games before Labor Day. I believe they play Winnipeg this week, and then who are they playing? Next, they're playing Saskatchewan. And then they got Edmonton coming up for Labor Day. And if they're not able to beat those bottom teams, Edmonton's going to be getting a win soon. You don't want it to be against you, and you don't want it to be on the heels of a few wins. So the Stamps need to figure something out, and figuring something out means getting Vernon Adams healthy. And hopefully it's one of those things where his head is back. But again, I go back to looking at that hit on the film. It didn't seem like it was that much contact to his head. And it definitely didn't seem enough to knock him out for the following week, let alone
are you saying that worries you about
worries me big time. Worries me big time. Concussion symptoms. I know he's practicing, but that worries me a lot, because what if he gets a big hit? What happens? And I was all in on PJ Walker. I'm not so sure anymore. Like I was like, give the guy a chance. He had a short week, like he wasn't ready for Montreal, but it didn't look great. And I'm not saying he wasn't great and it was all his fault, but when a team doesn't play for you, it's very hard.
He wasn't on sync with the receivers, but let's face it, you've got your 2 Canadian starting receivers out.
Yeah.
You have a third guy in it's slipping my mind right now. I think they were playing with 3 receivers out. I'm sorry. That's tough to ask. You've got a defense that on first down had to honor the play action. And now they're just focusing on the run game. So Mills didn't have a shot. It changes everything.
Yeah. Sounds like a bunch of excuses we're making for PJ Walker. Stamps got to figure it out. No, but that's the truth.
He's not the answer. No. In fact, we would be perhaps better off with the old guy as their number 2, but you always have to move on.
Well, and there's Trey creeping up in the standings. He's 2 games ahead of us in the picks. So again, make your picks this week. This is your reminder, Sheldon. There's Trey with 23, and that's after 9 weeks, still hiding behind Cool Raj and the sexy cowboy. I got to figure out who this is, but it's still a tight race. No one won the Grey Cup in June. No one wins it in July, and no one wins it at the beginning of August. So Trey, the challenge now is you're at top. Can you keep pace, Trey? Because you have a lot of faith in Trey Ford, and I don't know if that gives me a lot of faith in your ability to pick consistently throughout the year. That's an opinion. It's just an opinion piece. That was an editorial.
Yeah, well, time will tell. We're not yet at Labor Day, and nothing counts until after September long weekend. So we'll find out then.
Well, listen, guys, listen. I think we should wrap this up because Trey's got a gal waiting for him to call before bed, and we hit the hour and a half mark. But you know what? It was your birthday show. We were waiting for the cake to show up. We had a great guest with Kevin Smith. Remember, guys, Train the Trainer this week at the Realm Fitness down in Inglewood. Oh, there you go. There's his birthday balloon. Trey, if you could put up that address for the Realm Fitness in case people want to show up there at 9:30 for the Train the Trainer. And then again, maybe even the more important event would be the event at Spalumbo's with Craig Hannum. And not more important, but if you're looking to help someone else.
If you haven't caught any of Craig Hannum's events before, it's important, and it's an important one, and you'll learn a lot.
Yeah, so there it is. $85, lunch included for a great speaker and great networking, great, just a great place to be. Sheldon, I'm going to wish you a happy birthday. And because it's your birthday, you got the final words, and whatever you want to say, because it's your show and it's your birthday.
Hey guys, I just got to say, Chev, I appreciate it. I was touched by everything today. I knew it was going to be a fun show with some topics I wanted to talk about. I was not expecting this many people wishing me happy birthday and the kind acts that I've received during the day. Guys, you guys made me feel special, and it's just inspired me to make sure that for the next 3 months, I'm going to do the same as much as I can, look for opportunities to make the city better. This whole country has been up and down for the last 10, 15 years. Guys, it's men like us that are going to take control back and make it a better place through acts of kindness, respecting each other, and just making the world a better place for your neighbors. Guys, I love you all. Thank you for watching. We'll see you guys next week. We're out.